I just hope we'll be allowed to play our part. But keeps you busy, keeps me interested. Certainly within, and as I said, I have 3 children. My son who already has the sporting potential. What world will he be influencing? I'm more interested in he has the characteristics that would go, hopefully, with a great human being and then as a great champion. Luke's a bit of a scrapper like me, so I'll be just happy if he's just a good boy, a potential bad boy made good. Francesca dances, she does ballet. So I have a family that is sporting and artistically real in their everyday experience. And I suppose, like everything else, if my children can have it, and I work hard, and Jan works hard with me, not only as a family but in the charity. So she's a former champion, she fought for women's rights. But as I said, I wouldn't cross her now. But no, I think there's only so much we can sell. The spirit of sport is so strong. The artistic expression and cultural engagement of it is so strong. I think now we need to just step up to the plate, stand and be counted. And this time next year, it'd be interesting. But I'm always happy to get to this time of year because it's such an exhausting journey.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the Youth Charter for people who don't know about it?
The Youth Charter was launched in 1993, as I said, following the shooting of a 14-year-old schoolboy in Moss Side, an area of urban deprivation, historically. Manchester were bidding for the 2000 Olympics. I was an ambassador for the 2000 Olympic bid, living a very uniquely privileged lifestyle. And it struck me that something wasn't wrong and that it wasn't right. It didn't feel right. There was a massive soul-searching debate, and I decided that we had royal charters in Britain. We needed a youth charter. And then it needed to have a philosophy that, as I've shared, was a UN philosophy. And a mission that sport provides an opportunity for young people to develop in life, not achieve medals, to develop in life. Education, health, social order and the environment. I thought it was a 3-year strategy. It's now taken 12 years of my life. It's taken me all over the world again. So as a competitor, I'd travelled the world, but now I've travelled as an interested human being. I'm a sporting activist, and I've tried to translate the philosophy, mission, aims and objectives. It has not been easy. The frustrations have been great. I get very sad when politics are used as the excuse for what can never be political, but should be transglobal, social, and political by way of buy-in. Whoever takes power will have youth culture to deal with. So the Charter has made a number of significant inroads. People don't value inspiration too much because people have an interpretation of that. But 216 sportsmen and women have signed the scrolls. It's time they were shared. I'm aiming to do that. We're producing reports. I'm writing a book. So I think it's important that by way of therapy as well as anything else for sanity. But no, the Youth Charter is a good reflection, I think, of a number of sportsmen and women who have come from challenging backgrounds, and just through the simple power of a signature, they need to know what impact they've had. Benji Stanley's tragic loss of life, and many others who have lost life to the gang culture, which is the extreme end of a non-educational and healthy attitude to life that creates behavioural lifestyles, that has them inspired to brands and things they cannot earn in life, so they take them. And they're prepared to do silly things, and sometimes very, very violent things. But no, we've engaged, motivated and inspired. The Youth Charter has punched way above its weight. I was a heavyweight. I'm even more of a heavyweight now, but we were lightweight in our intent. But many people, positively and negatively, have helped it come of age. And I hope and feel today we have come of age, and we can now be included and allowed to sit at the table.
What do you want Youth Charter to achieve? What is your goal?
The Youth Charter should continue to be a symbol, a reference point as to what the philosophy is about. That when sports people give an autograph, it's a signature. That signatures collectively become very powerful. They become a petition. That the programmes and projects, that if the programmes of engagement by sports people are backed up by teachers and community-led individuals who can sustain it, and then as a result of that, manage and operate the projects that we leave by our collective efforts. You know, for me, it's just a consistent reminder, a consistent contribution to what's happening at this moment in time. And yes, we've got some bold plans that reflect the bold young people that we engage with. But I'd like to see the young people taking the leading role and taking a very critically important role in this work. They must be first, foremost and uttermost. And maybe we have some old age to look forward to. Well, I'm getting older now, so maybe I'm investing in my old age. The Karate Kid has retired, but is looking for a little bit more from those young people he's tried to help.
There I'm sure there are success stories of projects that you've run. There must be other projects that didn't go quite as you expected, but you learned from them. Can you give me an example of each?
Shipper Shabalala was my most proud moment. I've coached talent. Darren Campbell, the Olympic gold medalist, came from the streets of Moss Side. In his formative years, he could have gone much the way of those who are no longer here with us. His peers were dead, he was alive. What he does with that Olympic experience and journey is now something I wait to see, because I don't demand it, I simply ask them to express it and live it. But Sipho, coming from a prison in such extreme circumstances, surviving the ravages of HIV/AIDS, and through a simple passing of a letter, seeing him 7 years on become now a proud businessman, a father, and an employer of young people. When people talk about what is it all about, that's engaging, that's motivating, that's inspiring. 2010 World Cup is a reality, so I know that Sipho will employ many and make much happen. But I think it's the failures. I never learned much from winning. I learned a hell of a lot from losing. It's been very difficult when you lose lives, and that's been my reality. Young people will either have lives lost through the violence of the gang culture, or they'll be incarcerated through the errors they make through crime, or they'll simply just have lost that opportunity of sport playing a part in their life. And it's difficult, especially when you've had the benefit of it, especially when you've seen what it can do. It's very frustrating when people talk about proposals and grants and evaluation and research. If that was all part of me coming through, I'd never be here now talking to you. But I accept we are where we are, but it doesn't mean I have to be patient. But failures, this year I got back from South Africa, and Benji Stanley's brother was shot dead on the streets of Manchester. That hit me hard. 2 generations lost is not acceptable. So you soul search, you ask yourself the questions, what more could I have done? And that's why I've started to write the reports. Self-evaluation, as of Geoff Thompson. I've let much go because I had a friend who once said that becoming second in what you do is the best possible way you could ever achieve what you want to achieve. For someone that was in the business of winning, that was very difficult. But you let much happen and people interpret it in their own way. But no, Benji's brother dying 10 years on was difficult. Going into prisons and seeing young people would have wasted in arrested development. And even then not having sport, helping re-establish and re-equip them with tools so when they're back in society, they might reconsider and choose a different life. And I suppose the view that it might be seen as an African issue, we're helping Africa. I've never seen a greater need for the developed countries, America, Asia, Europe. You know, as I said, France was just a symptom of what we're having to now see with globalization, immigration, all the issues that are required. So I've asked myself hard questions, but I've asked the young people hard questions. Young people want everything now. It's the most difficult thing to try and say patience is golden. I don't remember having much patience, so that's why I don't ask too much on. But you try and get that balance, and I think it's a job well done, but so much more needs to be done. And all I do say to those who challenge me is, could you put a price on a young life? I can't. We do, but I can't. It's priceless. So based on that, and hopefully, and thank God, and hopefully, whatever you believe in it, it should never be someone close to us. So I then say, well, everyone's valued. Everyone has a purpose. And social activism has to have a conservative discipline. So I'm not sure how we cannot have boundaries and behaviours and values that are common, that are by way of right and responsibility, that engages any community, motivates any youth cultural group of interest, and inspires what we're doing now. Democracy is about challenging and debating. And it's nice to rub opinions and sometimes reach the consensus that we agree to agree or agree to disagree. But at least we've had the dialogue. That's why Magglingen is so important. That's why, you know, what Mr. Ogie's been doing has been vital. You know, but Mr. Fuss, the Swiss, Development Academy, what they've been doing, just allowing things to happen. I think Switzerland is the best place for this to happen because it always has made it happen. So I don't know. I reflect on everything. So yet again, a massive performance of great importance, of great nerves. I would much prefer to fight a World Championship final again, even at 47 now, than what I did there today. But I'm happy. because at the end of the day, it must always come from the heart. If you've lived it and experienced it, it comes from the heart. Yes, you have your prompts, but it has to come from the heart. All of those sports people spoke from the heart. And as you saw, the more we tried to follow our scripts, it didn't work. But we have academics, we have people challenging our thinking and our feelings. So I now try and strike a balance, and I hope I've reflected that, and I hope I've done justice to our efforts today.